going on? You're watching the Raiders Report, and I go live every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific. So, Gio, he's got a super chat in here. You and Silver and Black Films Presents are my favorite Raiders YouTube channels. I just turned on my notifications. Dude, Gio, appreciate you. Everybody watching, turn on those noties. And Silver and Black Films, if you want to link up and cross-promote, hit me up. You guys can find me down below. That's my IG. It's also my Twitter. Okay, Q&A time. Use hashtag Raiders, or you can super chat and get on the show. We got my man, NVD Money. Do you think LaMarcus Joyner could get waived due to his $9 million salary this season? I say no, right? So if the Raiders cut LaMarcus Joyner, I believe, before June 1st, it ends up costing them like $11 million. So I don't really see why they would do it. And if they cut him after June 1st, I believe it's $8 million. So either way, you're going to have to pay LaMarcus Joyner over $8 million. I'd much rather pay him $8 million and have him on our team than for him to not be on our team. That's just me. Let's go to Hunter Mitchell. Great last name. Great last name. High quality. Who is someone we should trade for? Okay, I like this question. So I actually made a video on our main Chat Sports channel. Go check it out. Players that I think would be traded. I think if we are going to go out and get a player, this might not be a very popular opinion, but I think we should go after another defensive end, maybe like a Carlos Dunlap, maybe like a Geno Atkins, where, yes, it's going to cost some money, but I also think the Bengals would give up one of them, maybe a little bit cheaper. Also, you could look at Yannick if you can get it for the right price. I don't want Leonard Fournette personally. I think it's going to cost too much. Some receivers on the trade block are Kenny Stills, Nelson Aguilar. If we're looking for another offensive guard, Joe Thuney's an interesting option, but I think he's going to cost too much. But I would probably say Geno Atkins or Carlos Dunlap. Let's go to Lucas. What up, Lucas? How will we use Bryan Edwards? We're going to use Bryan Edwards in the sense where, like, I think he could end up getting maybe like 50 targets this year, probably coming down, let's say, with like 30 catches. But you're going to see Bryan Edwards used a little bit more in the red zone, because where we really struggled last year was converting in the red zone. So you add a bigger receiver who's 6'3", about 215 pounds out of South Carolina, which just gives us a little bit more of an option where we can high point the football and go up and get it. But I will say this, he does have the potential, because he's also a pretty solid route runner with good hands, to actually get a little bit more playing time. Let's just say Tyrell deals with injuries again. You could see Bryan Edwards step up. Now, if he does, that's great. But I also think in terms of offense, you got to think we're going to run the football first with Josh. Second option then might be pass it to Henry Ruggs. Then you're looking at Darren Waller. Then you're looking at Tyrell Williams. I mean, at best, he's maybe like our 6th, 7th option. Let's go to the Hunting Legend. Great name. Love also this logo. Will Rico Gafford be back this year, and how well will he pair with Ruggs? Rico Gafford, I don't anticipate being back. That could change, obviously, with the offseason. He does have a lot of speed. He did open up some things for us, but the issue is we even had Rico last year. We didn't really use him in the right way, in my opinion. So now you add Henry Ruggs, who's going to be a much more dynamic player, who's a much faster player than Rico. And I know y'all love Gafford and you love some speed, but we got speed, and we got plenty of it in Henry Ruggs. So if y'all want to shout out, turn on your notifications. Let's get them on, okay? Again, today's show theme, turn on your notifications. If that's not clear yet, I'm sorry. I don't know what else I got to do. So what I want you to do, turn on your noties, and then once your notifications are on, or if they've been on, I want you to type done, okay? So once it's done, I'll give some shout outs here because my computer's finally kind of up here and running again. I see Lucas, I see Ralph, I see Zelbis, I see Raheem, I see Stephen Williams, Whittaky Joker, King Higgins. Here we go. Now they're coming in. Jock Bryan, Xavier Charles, Manuel Urena. Bottom line, if we can get more people to turn on the notifications, you're going to get more shows from me. That one's for Chucky Heads. Believe it, baby. Let's go to King. What you got for me, King Higgins? I always knew we would take Ruggs over Lamb, even though most fans wanted Lamb. Do you still think Lamb would have been the better pick? When I look at the overall way that we drafted, I'm actually not sure, right? Because I think he's a fun player, and I think, obviously, I love me some CeeDee Lamb, and I think he would have been a better blocker. But I don't know if Lamb paired with Bowden and Bryan Edwards would have been better than pairing Ruggs and Bowden together plus Edwards. Like, I love the mix. Now, here's what Gruden kind of had to say on why the Raiders drafted Ruggs. So we had a tough decision. Obviously, there's a lot of good receivers in this draft, but we were united on Ruggs. His speed, his strength, his playing style, his versatility is something we feel like we have to have back in this organization. We were known for speed in years past, and we're going to be known for speed going forward. I like this quote a lot, and I think a lot of times, we fall in love with a certain player. And I also think like coaches, organizations, GMs, they're going to fall in love with certain players as well. And I think when you can fully be united on a guy, that's what I really like to see. And I think that's what this Raiders team is going to ultimately do going forward. All right, let's get some more questions coming in here. King, appreciate you. Let's go to Jeff. What you got for me, Jeff? Are you satisfied with our linebacking core? I think our linebacking core has gotten a lot better. I think when you look at the additions, obviously, of Littleton, Nick Kukowski, Carl Nassib, I think is also going to play linebacker a little bit. I know we didn't really draft a linebacker. However, if y'all have seen Tanner Muse's picture that he just posted on Twitter and on Instagram, he's wearing number 55. And I know I had some people be like, Mitch, Tanner Muse is a safety. Why do you have him listed as a linebacker? It's because we've always here at Chat Sports believed that he was going to be a linebacker. So the fact that he's posting pictures with like number 55, to me, tells me he's going to play this hybrid role. But yes, I am a lot more confident in our linebackers. However, if we lose a guy like Littleton or Kukowski, I am going to get a little bit more nervous about our depth. Let's go to Brandon. What up, Brandon? Do you see us using Bowden the same way the Saints use up Hill? No, I think they're different players. Like, I get that he used to play quarterback here and there and he filled in, but I don't really see us using him in that way. You're not the first person to ask me that. He is a very fun player, but I don't see him getting used in that way. Now, if you want to add trickery, right? I think if we put out a guy like Marcus Mariota, then you have Josh Jacobs in the backfield, you put a guy in motion like Henry Ruggs, and then you put another guy in motion like Bowden, it's going to make a lot of moving pieces. And then what does that mean? When a lot of moving pieces happen, I think it makes things simpler on a quarterback because he can know who's covering who. And I think it's something that we could install in the red zone where, hey, if we're like 4th and 1, or if it's like 4th and goal, you install a play like that, there's no way a defense can be ready for that. So I think like that's when you see miss happens, and maybe we can convert a little extra. So I see the super chat coming in. Steven, he says, hey, Mitch, how in the heck do I add a picture? So you actually, I don't think you can do it on your phone. It's actually a very, very annoying thing. So what you actually have to do is you have to go on your desktop. Once you go to your desktop, you go to your settings and you click photo and you can add photo. For whatever reason, you can't do it on your mobile device. So now that y'all know how to do it, if you have more questions, you can always hit me up on Instagram at Mitchell Renz 365. I'd be more than happy to walk y'all through the process. Okay, Steven, appreciate the super chat. Now I got a question for y'all. Who's your favorite Raiders draft pick? Okay, like, I don't want it to just be like who you think's the best, because I think a lot of y'all would pick Ruggs. I want you to think of it as like, who do you think is going to be the best value, right? Like, I think Josh was probably our best pick last year, but I think in overall value, it was Max Crosby because we got him in round 4. So let me know who your favorite pick was. I see Ruggs, Amik Robertson, Tanner Muse, Bryan Edwards. Good. This is the kind of conversation I want, okay? Somebody also said, go to Google and look up how to add a picture. That's the perfect response. But Bowden, Muse, Amik Robertson, I'm actually going to also say Amik Robertson in terms of value because I think it fills a major need for us. And it's also a player that I know I was very confident in, and it's a player that I know Gruden and Mike Mayock were very confident in. So I'm going to personally say Amik Robertson. Let's go to Emmanuel. What up, Emmanuel? How you been, man? What do you think this team needs? What do you think this team needs to do to be a Super Bowl contender? I don't know if we're going to be a Super Bowl contender yet. I still think that we are like a 1 or 2 major pieces from being away. Now, if I have to honestly answer the question, Derek Carr needs to take another step up. We need to use Henry Ruggs in the right way. He needs to take a step up. Tyrell Williams needs to stay fully healthy. Our defense needs to stay fully healthy. But our team last year, in all honesty, wasn't like – the rookies played great, but I don't think we had this like amazing football team. I think our team just played very, very well together as a team. If this team wants to make a Super Bowl run, you need to be able to just invest in each other. You need to stay healthy, and I think you do need to have a lot of things go right way. But if I've learned anything about football, if you get into the playoffs, anything is possible. If anybody would have told me that the Tennessee Titans would have beat the New England Patriots and the Baltimore Ravens on the road, I probably would have said you're crazy. But if this team can get hot, and if this team can rely on a running back like Jacobs, like the Titans did with Henry, or like the 49ers did with all their backs, I mean, there's no reason why this team can't make a Super Bowl run. Let's go to Rami, or Rami. Hopefully I got that right. Did I get it? FAB. As always, FABs, throw them in there. What will Ruggs' stats be next season? I also love your show. Also, I want to start a new rule here. So I saw Ruggs, he posted a picture, and a lot of times when he scored a touchdown in college, he put up 3. So anytime, okay, I know with Josh Jacobs, we type JJ. Anytime we talk about Antonio Brown, you type FAB. Anytime we talk about Henry Ruggs, I want you to type 3, because I'm telling you right now, the very first touchdown he scores, it's going to be like this. So anytime y'all see Henry Ruggs, I want you to put your 3s up. In terms of stats, I said it before, I'm thinking 900 total yards. Let's go with 750 receiving yards, 150 rushing yards, maybe 50 catches. Those are my projections on Ruggs. All right, if you guys want a Raiders draft hat, they're finally in. I think for the longest time we couldn't find them, or they weren't made. And then right when the draft came out, here they are. So now I got a special deal on them. So if you want to go to chatsports.com/Raiders draft hat, that's how you get this bad boy. So this one that you see on screen is $34, but they also have a few other hats as well. But I'm showing this one because this one is available. The other ones are kind of sold out. So go to chatsports.com/Raiders draft hat. It'll be in the comments. It'll be in the description. Go ahead and rep your team. We got another super chat rolling in here from Steven. What up, brother? I believe Tanner Muse is going to flourish as a linebacker. Amik Robertson is going to be Defensive Rookie of the Year. That's a bold pick, okay? I think the only way that happens, honestly, the only way Amik Robertson is Defensive Rookie of the Year is if somebody like LaMarcus Joyner gets hurt and he gets a lot more playing time. But to win Defensive Rookie of the Year, you got to get a lot of stats. Stats are sometimes kind of hard to come by as a defensive player. It normally goes to a defensive lineman that gets a lot of sacks, gets a lot of tackles, like a linebacker also. So, hey, man, if it happens, I would absolutely love it. He's a player that I've talked about multiple times here on the show. He had 14 interceptions his last 3 years out of Louisiana Tech. An absolute steal that we got at 139. I'll be honest. If it happens, you send me the screenshot. We're going to get you on the show. Let's go to Michael. Michael, my man. Michael's one of my most loyal watchers. Probably been around since what? I was at 1,000 subs. So, Mike, I appreciate you. Mike Mayock is the best GM drafting rounds 3 and on. You're asking it. I mean, so far, I'm going to say yes, right? And I think the classic quote that I saw from Mayock was round 1's important, but day 3 is just as important. Now, I get it. Round 3 isn't, round 3 isn't on day 3, but we have absolutely killed it from rounds 3 on since Mayock has taken over. And I will continue to believe that. It's why we say in Mike Mayock we trust. So if you trust Mike Mayock, I want you to type it, in Mike Mayock we trust. Now, I know we had a lot of questions on today's show. And again, I do want to apologize for my technical difficulties earlier on. So if I missed your question, hit me up on Instagram at Mitchell Renz 365. Give me a follow, DM me. Also remember, I'm going to be live doing a Instagram live on Saturday with a few Raiders UDFA players. But if I missed your question, message me right now on Instagram at Mitchell Renz 365. Raider Nation, what's going on? Is this the #1 Raiders channel on YouTube? For Chucky Heads, believe it, baby. And if you haven't already, subscribe right here. I'm giving you Chucky Heads, news, rumors, Raider Nation rumors. And look at this, I'm making your life easier. Check out my next video. Thanks for watching, and go Raiders.